All right, let's kick this show off. Happy Friday to everybody out there. I didn't check my mic. My mic looks good. All right, I checked everything else. I noticed my TV is causing a light change in the background. It's kind of cool. It took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on. I thought my cameras were flickering. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Pit Stop by the Sim Pit. It will be a short show today. Famous last words. Not a whole lot going on in sim racing. A couple of things, since before we even get to the news, on the days that we are short on topics, I do like to kind of take a little time to think about things on my mind, things that occur to me, and bring it up with you guys for your thoughts on them. And I'm going to say I've still been playing Forza. Last week I asked your thoughts on the game, and I have still been playing Forza, trying to find some love for it. And I will say a few things have come up that have made me like it more, and a few things have come up that have made me like it less. One thing I will say, that's my pickup line. That's funny, Alesh. All right, so one thing I did discover, I don't know if any of you guys do, so one thing I did is I switched from this computer to that computer, which means going from triples to my widescreen, and I didn't like the field of view, and so I did some digging, and it's not where I expected it to be in the menus, but you can adjust the field of view for all of the camera angles, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I really do have to pat them on their back for monitor and configuration support. And even though I'm not happy with the force feedback, the support of wheels, I changed to a completely different system. It worked. I used a H-pattern shifter. It worked. It allows you to just switch back and forth between the two. Forza sucks, but EA WRC is baller. Booth, yes, I've been playing a lot of Skylines. The new Skylines, I don't know if any of you guys are SimCity or Skylines or any of those fans of those genre games. The new one is just it's really cool. It's really deep. It's really detailed, and you really, really have to take a long time to do it. So what I find myself doing is turning it on in the morning, and then I literally just leave it running all day long as I do other things around here, filming and writing and whatnot. All right, well, it sounds like I'm gonna have to get in. I've been a little bit behind and not able to get on WRC. I'm really backed up on things, and a little confession or full honesty, I've been under the weather. So I think a long time ago, almost a year ago, I shared with you guys that new phenomenon, the crystals thing in my inner ear, causing like a dizziness spell. And this happened about a year ago, and I did these exercises, like your own physical therapy, real basic, super easy, and you do it yourself, and it completely went away. And this week it came back out of nowhere. So what's happening is I'm waking up in the middle of the night, actually. When I roll over, I'll get so dizzy that it'll wake me up. And then, anyway, I'll end up very early because of it. And then a little bit nauseous. It's been really rough. Anyway, it's clearing up. I'm back to doing my exercises on it. It seems like it's clearing up on the way out. But it's been a rough week for me. I need to be built from the ground up. I wish I could be built from the ground up, Tom Jones. Wouldn't that be awesome? So with that, what I have is it from all the LSD I did in the 80s. You never know what the cause of these things are. It's like I have questionable ankles, and I know damn well it's from all the soccer I played, right? Direct correlation, very linear. I don't know what is the cause of my crystals. I can't remember what it's called, some inner ear issue thing. Smoke weed, it will make me feel better. Like right now on the show, Tom, is that legal? Is that legal on where are we? YouTube? Are you allowed to smoke weed on YouTube? I don't know what you're allowed to do or not do. You bet Forza caused it. We need a ba-dumpsh. Ba-dumpsh. For when you guys do a great joke like that. So as I was playing Forza, it dawned on me that, and I'm going to point a finger at Gran Turismo also, and I don't know that it's their fault as much as kind of like, I brought up Assassin's Creed. This is a great parallel. So when you make Madden football, the next year's edition, because people are so fanatical about football, baseball, basketball, hockey, etc., you can do a new version and just update the stadiums, update the jerseys, update the players, do one hit for you. Tom Jones, I don't, I want to grow our audience, maybe privately or something. I don't know. Hey, Andrew, how you doing? So with a sports franchise, you put out a new title, new jerseys, updated everything. That's good enough. When you look at like an Assassin's Creed, a Grand Theft Auto, a Red Dead Redemption, a certain amount of your audience wants to see the next version being a continuation, the exact same thing. Oh, wait, I didn't do this for you, Tom. Tom, I'm going to do this, and we'll talk off the air. Weed will definitely grow my audience. Smoking tires. There you go, Caitlin. That's our version of smoking here on this show. So yeah, you're going to make me lose my train of thought here, Tom Jones. I'm struggling to stay with it. Assassin's Creed has gone through different genres, different characters, whatever. Gran Turismo and Forza, the mainstream titles from those two games, are kind of pigeonholed into this whole, like, we do real cars, real tracks, or maybe fantasy, but we're grounded in a certain amount of realism, blah, blah. And so the problem is, as I was playing more and more Forza, which again I continue to play. Good morning, Dan. I'm like, this is so dry. It's so repetitive. There is so very little that is new to this game that I feel like is a real good reason to love it. And then I'm like, but really, how is that different than Madden? And it isn't. It's just that the people who are that fanatical about cars, the differences between a 2022 and a 2023 model means buying a new game, they just don't exist at the level of people who care if an NFL player was traded to another team or a big draft pick was now on the team. And so therefore I feel it makes it very hard to keep cranking out titles like that. Now, when you look at iRacing, R Factor, Assetto Corsa, Automobilista, I don't want to leave anybody out. The little fine-tuning of the physics and additions to the sim are like so critical to what we, the hardcore sim racers, want and need and demand. And those updates are often enough to keep us going and keep us inspired. Certainly not enough to sell a new sim on, but they don't even try now. Those are typically just updates to the game. So, and that just made me think. And they couldn't do it with Forza Motorsport, and they can't do it with Gran Turismo. But I've often talked about fun factor and the lack of fun factor in so many sim racing titles. And really, like, if you're going to be iRacing and you're going to create a competition structure that is enough to engage drivers, fine. But if you're not at that level, if you're not trying to be that sim, and I do believe that R Factor 2 is trying to be that sim. I feel that Assetto Corsa, to an extent, is also trying to be that sim. But if you're not trying to be a hardcore pure sim where people are going to be critical of everything about your tire model and everything, then fun factor has to be a big part of video gaming. We play video games to live our fantasies, whatever game it is that we are playing, and the game needs to draw us into that character. It needs to bait us into a storyline or something endearing about the game that keeps us moving on and thriving. I find that the structure of Forza, the structure of Gran Turismo, are both so repetitive, going all the way back to the original titles. And most of the advancements, quite honestly, in graphics, physics, and everything for both of them stopped 5 years ago anyway. 7 years ago anyway. And so here we are, and I look at Forza, and I'm like, but if you had really expanded on the Rivals mode, instead of depending on your tired storyline that barely baits me to move forward, barely congratulates me for victory, how hard would it be? I look at like the tragedy that is the storyline and Codemasters, and it's like, yeah, because they tried to create this super structured one. And what was the name of the game? Come on, you guys, help me out. Codemasters had that game. It was crashing, but it was racing. Come on, someone. Dan, Joa, Tom, someone. Oh. And your rivals called you out. Do you recall that game? Do you recall what I'm talking about? yeah, you get him with it. That's like no, not murder racing, Brad. That's like grid. Thank you, Callum. Grid. Brad, that's like a pitcher setting you up with like a couple of low and away sliders, and then coming in with a high fastball to the inside, right? Grid. It was Grid. So I'm sitting there thinking they have this Rivals mode, but nothing's really going on. And it's like, wouldn't it be more fun if you were trying to get new enthusiasm into an old, tired structure? How hard would it be to have that Rivals mode be expanded? And it's like, where's the guy who comes out and calls you out and like, you think you're a hot shot in your little Subi? How about we race for pink slips? And he presents his tuned car and calls you out. I'm just like, where are the parts of Forza that bait me to keep playing the game? And they don't have them. And I feel like the graphics are awesome. The amount of content is awesome. The series and all the things are even quite awesome, but the reward structure, the incentives, the enthusiasm, the baiting me to move forward does not exist. And that is the biggest letdown, because I think if it was there, I'd look past the force feedback, because I find after about 30 minutes of driving that I can get comfortable. It takes me about 30 minutes, and then I'm like, oh yeah, Forza, do that power slide shit. Daniel, yes, the original Need for Speed, with cops pulling you over. Now, I know that in the case of Forza, in their defense, they're like, yeah, well, that's why we created Horizon. And my thoughts are, well, you stole so many assets from Horizon in terms of making Laguna Seca look like a carnival during 4th of July. Why not steal other assets, like a little more fun factor? Well, and Dan, that's the kind of sideshow act that I think could have been utilized to bait you into the game. Because they could have done a few of those things, and they could have left everything else the same. Just if you're in career mode, how hard it would be for every 2 or 3 events for something, some curveball to be thrown your way. To make you just think, hey, I want to do this. And then if you lose your car. Oh my, and if you have your settings set properly where it's actually a challenge and you're like, I don't know, man, he's ranked 90 and he's bringing in that super tuned BRZ I don't know if I want to put my Subi on the line, you know? So I just feel that if you're going to make a game that can't emphasize competition as its main thing, if you can't emphasize physics and super realism to the driving model as your main thing, then I feel that your main thing needs to switch to everything I've just talked about, with automotive culture being the subset even. Just so yeah, like they overdid it. They could have Boothie. They could have taken 20-30% out and put it into Forza Motorsport, and both games would be for the better. I'm not sure. I don't think that would be gambling unless you had to pay money to acquire the car, as long as it was just time vested. And it's time to stop trying to make everything for everyone. If you're offended, well, this wasn't the game for you. Go play Farm Sim. Go play Truck Sim. Go play Wreckfest. Go play iRacing. Anyway, now, despite my strong opinions on the thing, the phone is not ringing off the hook from Polyphony or from Turn 10, offering me jobs as creative director. So, and if they did, I'd be like, look, guys, let's downplay the whole ground up thing. Let's not do that anymore. Let's just accept what we are, and let's figure out how to make it the most fun racing game ever. That's it. That should be the goal of every game coming out. If it's not physics-based, if it's not competition structure-based, if they're not ready to be accountable for physics, tire model, force feedback, and those things. Now, with that said, again, Dan, did you find the FOV, the individual FOV settings for all the cameras? I found that, and it made me smile. I switched from triples to double screen or a widescreen, and I was totally able to just dial in the FOV, and I'm like, you know what? That's next level for Forza. Certainly playing it on the PC level. All right, you guys, we burned 17 minutes, increasing the length of on a short news day show. Tenor, I think they gave up on that philosophy a while ago. I mean, I think there are just limitations. I mean, I think that would be really cool to see, and quite honestly, I would love to see this from Turn 10 / Microsoft. I would love to see them make a PC version of Forza and leave behind the put a different team on it, go after the PC market with your assets and all that stuff. So yeah, Dan, seat position would be a little better too. Yeah, but there's so many things, as I trashed Forza Motorsport a few times here on the show. There are so many redeeming qualities when you really, really look at it and when you really consider what it is. And Booth mentioned Sim Pizza, and looking at games that do certain things best. And there are a handful of things within Forza that if they're not the best, they are up there setting the bar on certain things. And considering that it is a game made for all, that's really kind of cool and essential. All right, Billy Strange made the show. How you doing, Billy? If they weren't so focused on leaves. But see, isn't that... I hear what you're saying, and I know that leaves sound so insignificant. But at the same time, when you play iRacing, even in 2023, one of the things that makes iRacing seems weird is just how static the track is. So even as they've increased the realism, even as they've increased certain features, dirt, smoke, marbles, there's still something so static about a day on a track at iRacing. And I feel that, yes, a leaf seems so big deal. I don't really care about leaves that much. It's not a big deal. But I mean, a track changes throughout the day. Life changes throughout the day. Weather. And I'm not just talking about rain. I'm just talking about, I don't know, it just feels different. And I don't get that sensation at iRacing. Yes, time of day, sure, great. But I don't know. It's just, I can't really put a finger on exactly what it is that feels so static. Yeah, sterile. It's so freaking sterile. And Forza Motorsport kicks the shit out of iRacing when it comes to that. I mean, just night and day different. And I completely applaud them on that. And it does feel more realistic because of that, in that respect. But again, if you're not gonna be physics-based, competition-based, critical of all of those things, it changes the rule book a little bit. Yes, true. That's very true, Joa. And that is the classic conundrum that is gaming. Half of the masses scream and yell and cry out for something. And meanwhile, the other half are going to just turn it right off anyway. I don't know how you walk that line, but I don't think that changes my main thought on the lack of fun factor in Forza, the new version. Yeah, it's flat. Yes, it is flat, and their coloring is so pastel. It looks like a pastel painting. As beautiful as the rendering is in terms of quality of the buildings and the cars and the walls and all of these things, it still comes off looking flat with a massive lack of depth of perception, compared to like Forza Motorsport. It just night and day there as well. Someday, and I guess that's where you got to start looking at Assetto Corsa. Because I was about to say someday you'll get something that's kind of halfway in between, and I do feel that Assetto Corsa Competizione has so much more color, depth. Billy Strange, I don't know if you missed that. I've been kind of railing on Forza, but I also at the same time have applauded the new Forza. I love the gameplay. I love that they really, really gave proper triple, double, single screen support. I love that it has worked with all of the controllers that I've thrown at it. I've thrown my mini might. I've thrown my hydraulic pedals at it. I've thrown a Moza setup at it. I've thrown a Thrustmaster setup. I've used an H-pattern setup. All of them worked. But I have two real big complaints about Forza that really are handicapping it in a big way. That being that I just cannot get the force feedback to where I feel comfortable. 30 minutes of driving, I get used to it, acclimated to it, and I can drive well. But it takes 30 minutes to get used to, and I've tried so many settings trying to get it right. And then the other is the lack of fun factor or anything engaging me, drawing me deeper into the game. Those are the two things, but those two are very big issues to overcome. So, yeah. Michael Pickford, I am very, very much looking forward to AC2, Assetto Corsa 2. You like the force feedback. Okay, cool. If I like the force feedback, I'd like the game a lot more. Again, I've put about 24 hours into Forza at this point. I'm going to play it again today. I'm not, I almost was going to do a review and I felt like I was going to be too harsh. And so I figured that I better dive back into it before I did that. And I wanted to be as fair as I possibly could be. So we'll see. All right. All right, 25 minutes. That did it. We got it. Wait, shorts. I got to learn how to do shorts, you guys. I don't know how I upload a short and get it to go into this section. If anybody out there knows how to do that and can hit me up on our Discord channel and let me know, that'd be awesome. Live, that's what I wanted to go to. Oh my god, you almost have 60 hours. That's incredible. So, this week, a couple days ago, Amir put out his WRC first look video. So, this is just like we did with Gran Turismo, with Forza. Just so, you know, you do spend some time mapping controls, making sure you have your graphics settings right, going through whatever tutorials and stuff they have starting you out, and then getting into a version of career mode. So Amir took the lead on WRC. I applaud him and thank him for that, because I've been backed up on hardware. I have 4, 5 different things. I keep running into obstacles, so I get down one path and it's like, oh, these pedals aren't going to work with this rig. Oh, this isn't going to work with that. Going a little back and forth, and now we got our momentum back, so you can expect some things coming out from me over the weekend even. So, just upload a vertical video under it, and it automatically detects it as a short. Okay, because this is one of my new goals, is to get a little more TikTok-y and YouTube shorts with, you know, some of the what's going on today kind of stuff. Not every day. So, AC has more vibrancy due to SOL. Yes, yes. The environment. Yeah, absolutely. Big time. I mean, especially comparing it to iRacing, J Topo.
I mean, it's been a long time.
Bears Junkie. Oh, she has the crystals. Okay, so I'm gonna take a detour on crystals. Bears Junkie. I did a bunch of research, and I found out it's either left or right side. And so I found this. It was it might have been Mayo Clinic even. Anyway, you tilt your head one way and then you lay down. You know, so if I were to just lay, I can't do it in my chair. But if I were to just flop over straight to my left, onto my left hip, left side, but have turned my head to the right, so I'd be looking at the ceiling when I got down there. If that makes you dizzy, then that's your directional problem, right? Or if I put my head this way and go that way, do I get dizzy? So usually it's one side or the other. Mine was clearly this direction. So, and then what you do is you flop over that way and you wait until at least 1 full minute have gone by and you're not dizzy. So you'll get dizzy and maybe even dizzier, and then it'll go away, and you wait 1 minute, and then you keep your head in that position, and you completely flop over to the other side, right-hand side, right hip, right side, and then you hold that. Now your face is like buried in the couch or whatever you're doing it in, and you do that for 1 minute, and then you sit up straight, and you do this. And for me, usually it only takes doing that like 3 or 4 times, and it will go away. The only problem is it does cause nausea, which will wreck my day sometimes, so if I only wake up a little dizzy one day, I won't necessarily do it. But this time it turned into a full-blown episode, and so I had to resort to my exercises, and hopefully I'll have it cleared up in the next couple of days. But great to hear somebody else had that. Crystals in or behind the ear. Yeah, it's the weirdest things on those little hair fibers, and they just it's like they all lay in the wrong direction and get tangled or something, and it's a way to reset them. Jay, thank you for that on Amir's show. I appreciate that. And Billy, I have certainly tried to keep it on the who is it intended for mentality when reviewing and playing Forza. But it still doesn't affect it. I just haven't been thrilled with the force feedback, and I haven't been thrilled with the engagement in the game baiting me to move forward. But I'm still trying. Amir is testing the crash model. Dan, for me, it's not exactly something I'm super hip to. It's more that I am just trying to do whatever it's going to take to find and get new audience to the show. Daniel. That is a very tough question. I think for me, and I've said this before, if I were really between an R21 or a Sim Magic Ultimate, there are a few things I like about each base and a few things that I'm not thrilled about on each base. But overall, they're both great. They're monster power. 21 and over Newton meters is monster power. It would come down to the rims. It's like, well, which rim do I really want? They make distinctly different rims available. So that would probably be my decider is which wheel do I want in my hands. So there's my answer to that.
Why am I driving in the middle of a village?
Yeah, Jay, they really expand things. It's the shorts reach a different audience. Yeah, Sean's recalibration exactly. Dom, yeah, in the cushions. So there is, okay. Because he runs the other type of triple. He doesn't run surround, NVIDIA surround, I believe. Not the ears right in your ear canal. They're the ones in your inner ear, Tom Jones. You're just falling over on that. No, they're not. And I've also Kenny Step. They're not. It's not that rare. And you might want to. So I know another person who their doctor had them do this other exercise where they put their pillows down on their bed, and then they sit up, and then they literally flop themselves back onto the pillow as hard as they can. And they'll do that like 2 or 3 times. I've not tried that method, but that was another method that I have heard. No, we're not talking crystal meth. Oh, Jay, that's terrible. That is a good question, Dan. We'll see. It might just be its own audience there in the end. Canals. And so Bears, yeah, and I'm not exactly 100% sure. So a few things that I do and have suffered from all my life. I get sinus related migraines, and what's funny is it won't even be a clogged nose. I won't have a runny or a clogged nose, but my sinuses clog here and like here and here, not in my nose, and it will cause me migraines. And I don't know that it's not. I mean, it very well could be. I mean, these crystals they know about, but they don't know about kind of thing. It could be. And then I also am now suffering from tinnitus. So I have ringing in my ears 24/7. And I don't know if that is also associated. And they think there may be a link to that as well. Anyway, these are my physical ailments. I have crystals and tinnitus and migraines. Wallitis. I'm waiting, Jay. I gotta catch up. Hold on, Tom. You're killing me. I gotta know what you meant there, though. Left foot accelerator competition. That's an interesting idea, Jay. We might be able to work something like that. Someone's gonna have to remind me of that. I kind of like that. That's an interesting challenge. Ken, did you hear my other version about the diagnosis and then the fix? Because you just reversed the procedure if it was the other direction. Joa, the wife tried the pillow over the face method. Well, I see it didn't work because you're still here. candled. I don't know about that. I'm not really into people touching my ears. I don't know. It's all annoying as F, but yes. Getting to, we should totally, where we, reverse. If we could go full speed, like in reverse, like pedal to the metal. Is that what you mean, Dan? Walleye. Tom Jones, I need a definition of wallitis. Hey, Heiko, how you doing? Tom Jones, I do not wear earplugs when I'm riding, because I have an audio system built into my helmet. My ears are so shot from, I believe it's racetrack life. You spend enough days next to race car engines and loud exhaust systems, and it is going to do in your ears. I did my share of concerts in my 18 and young 20s. A lot of concerts in that era. Are you guys enjoying today's show? Wow, we are on a weird one. We haven't even talked sim racing a bit. Thank God I have it playing in the background. They just pour wax in your ears, heat up the stuff, and get stuck and pull it out. I'm not sure, Booth, I'm sure that might be a secondary problem. I'm not sure. I've not heard in all the research I've done on the stuff, no one's brought up ear wax. I Q-tip, which you're not supposed to do. And so I'm sure I do have horrible wax buildup. Massage with a young candle lady technician. Yeah, Jay, I don't know how well I would do with that. I definitely don't know. I know that in my civilian car, when I try to left foot brake, it's pretty funny. I can do it in a race car, but when I do it on my car with like assisted braking, it's scary. That's good, Tom. It's an ear debate. It's gotten eerie, man. This show has gotten really eerie. I don't know if I can take it anymore. Anyway, good job on the EA Sports WRC first look by Amir. You get a good look, and if you haven't tried it yet, you got a good taste of it. And yeah. All right. Had adenoids put in your ear when you were 11, old ear formula, so the grommets would help the ear canal tunnel. Couldn't go in water for 3 years until they fell out. Interesting. So those just like open them up. They just kept them open, and then over time they dissolved and fell out.
All right, so we'll do one more round. Before I go into like what I kind of think.
All right.
Thoughts are.
All right. Amir's into his final thoughts. Should I put a link to this? Do you guys? I'm going to put a link here. And of course, a reminder, if you haven't already, if you're not part of our Discord channel, the SimPit does have a Discord channel. And in it, we cover everything from talking ears, because I'm sure that conversation will go on, to talking any videos that we put out at the SimPit, as well as we have affiliate discount links in there. We have all the information for all of our racing series. We have rigs. If you have a rig that you want to have seen on the show, you go to the post your rig section, and I forgot to look there, so I'm going to double check. We'll do that at the end of the show. I just pulled that up. There's a link to our Discord. You smell ears. The character models look dated, Jason Short says. No more ears. I don't want to hear with my ears anymore. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. All right. iRacing, congratulating Evan C.A. Say. There's his $11,700 check. Isn't that Tyler? Isn't that Tyler Hudson? I think that's Tyler Hudson. Someone tell me if I'm right or wrong on that. And he's the 2023 Outlaw champion. And there he is at the Charlotte Dirt Track, hanging out with his hardware. Gwyneth Paltrow has crystals too. This could be a new money-making opportunity. I need to join forces with Gwyneth Paltrow in so many ways. Thank you, Ken. We've been working hard on it. We are working hard on getting our affiliate programs, which usually means discounts for you guys, and it's simultaneously getting rewards. I don't endorse or push any products as much as if you're going to buy something and you use those links, you know, it helps us out too. iRacing with their dev update, showing off some new things going on. I'm going to give you guys a link. I like the idea of giving you guys a link so you can check it out. Hardware hanging out, that's illegal. Amaranth beer. I haven't heard. I don't drink beer. I don't drink, so it's hard for me to input on that, Alesh. Yeah, the crystals. Really annoying. Really challenged this week. So on iRacing's dev update, little update on the weather. Improved protest system. That's great to hear. Cars, tracks, all sorts of things. Here, we have some video? No. What's this? Drinking cures crystals. and meth cures tinnitus. Hear the wiper? It's not out. Rain is still in the closet. Rain tires. Ooh, curbing. So lots going on at iRacing, you guys. That's great to see. Sound before picture. That's the way it happened for humanity. We had sound before picture. That's proper evolution. The cooler's light of sim racing. All right, what else? All right, Prodigy Week. Here are the 16 contestants. Joe, but how many cars in iRacing are guilty of that at this point? Here's the Prodigy Week. These guys are battling for a real racing scholarship. So, yeah. Except for guns. Except for guns, Alesh. You feel it and then you hear it if you're still alive. Day one of the Prodigy Week.
You come from all walks of life, from all over the world. You've been through every bump in the road, wondered if it's worth it. But you're fueled by doubters. You've put in the long hours.
But you're fueled by downers. You've put in the long hours. I'm guessing we get rain in the next update, you guys. I don't think that iRacing, with as long as it's taken and as long as they've teased rain, I don't think that they would be doing this right now if we weren't going to see it in the very next build. That's my humble personal opinion. Not so humble personal opinion. So yeah, Racing Prodigy competition is going on in Race Room, and they have new physics. So Overtake did a video.
.gg, and today we have to talk about Race Room. Developer KW Studios is going into the offense now and are preparing a freshly baked physics update for you guys that will change car behavior in various phases on track substantially. We are talking here about new tire physics, we're talking about new brake behavior and ABS, as well as changes to the diffuser and how the whole aero package works. And I'm lucky enough to be among...
What sims have flat spotting? I was talking with my buddy who I used to race with this week, and we were just talking. He races real life cars and he races sims, and we were talking about flat spotting. So, what sims acknowledge flat spotting? I think R Factor does. If you've ever raced a real car and you have locked up the tires really hard, you'll get a flat spot. And then if you dare lock up the brakes again. So basically everyone but iRacing. But flat spotting is so critical to real life tire management, because if you get a flat spot, it will continue to find that flat spot, making it worse, and then you will eventually get a thump in the wheel that is really annoying. I mean, as fast as you could, frequency as you can make a bump. Anyway, all right, moving on. ESRL round 1. Is this the worst kept secret in sim racing? Isn't the phrase go, isn't this the best kept secret? So I guess worst kept means everybody knows about it.
It's really hard because it's actually blind. It's so first now we can see the apex.
No, Alesh, iRacing isn't necessarily the best. Again.
So now we are going downhill again.
iRacing still has a lock on the competition system. Others are trying, others are working on it, others are catching them and doing it, and I think that 2024 that's not what I wanted to do. I totally blew my moment. I told Joa, you can give me shit. I know I blew it. 2024 is going to be a really big year, because in 2024 we're going to see a lot of sims that don't have the pricing structure as iRacing has, make huge leaps and bound catches on iRacing on things like point systems, competition structure, multiplayer racing, ranked racing. And as that happens, iRacing is going to have to do something different, because a lot of those sims that are gunning for them in those categories have better graphics, have equal or on par physics, maybe even superior in some ways and maybe inferior in others, but rivaling physics. So 2024 is going to tell that story for sure. Okay, Tom, I'll have to see if that can be clipped out as that, and I'll have to do a better job of doing my thoughts on them. I kind of blew that one, kind of made a mess of that one. So anyway, the new Rensport competition is going, or the latest round in their competition is going on. So Gran Turismo, their latest update, which is supposed to be huge. I keep getting demonetized for music played by them. They buy the music, so they don't get demonetized, or they don't care. Hey, Greg. Get well. Somebody else said that. Anyway, Spec 2 update 1.4. New cars. 4-player split screen couch mode, Lake Louise snow circuit, 7 cars, quick race with Sophie, AI integration, 50 new challenges, and more. Best of all, it's completely free. And I think that you're going to see, and Callum, and I think that you're going to see those companies realize that that's an investment they need to make. Now, does the $50 or $60 or $70 box title cover those costs? Maybe it costs $2 a month to join their multiplayer service. So, yeah. Yes, Road America coming soon. That's what we saw in that video. Thank you, Joa. So, all right. I think that's all we had. Lines are nudged, brake zones are pushed. Quarters are dive bombed. Every quick race match is exactly that, racing against the updated Sophie 2.0 AI driver on the PlayStation 5. That is part of the Spec 2 update. There you go. There you go. All right, Fanatec showing off their nicest. This is the same wheel the M Sport uses in their rally car. So this is the podium button rally module, now available in their 22, 23 cars. SimuCube, Black Friday. You know, they're the first to remind me of it. But yeah, Black Friday is coming. So typically, the day after Thanksgiving is when we're going to see super duper sales on just about everything. Everything in the world. No, just about every electronic thing. A lot of sim. I would not buy hardware right now. I would probably hang in there and wait 3 weeks. So, yeah, Black Friday is coming, and SimuCube, I'm assuming, is gearing up for something, because they're asking you to sign up for their Black Friday newsletter, so you'll be the first to know what deals they're going to be throwing out there for everybody. Let's see here. SimMagic. So, I actually do have, I can tell you and confirm, that for the new P1000 pedals, I have a haptic pedal reactor set on the way. I have a hydraulic upgrade unit on the way. I have the ORP optional rubber pads on the way. So we will be able to do a round 2 of P1000 inverted testing with those upgrades as well. They are also now announcing their P2000R kit. So this is the same thing that would be available for the P2000. Save $20 on $2,000 pedals. Caitlin's hoping for 90% off, and Joa is saying it's more likely to be $20 off. Am I buying? No, Tom Jones. I'm broke. I'm saving up for my next motorcycle trip or something. So, no, there will not be any Black Friday deals. Anyway, great to see them making that available. I know a lot of people, when they saw them come out for the P1000, were like outraged. But now we see that available for the P2000 pedal as well. GSI, we already took a look at the Hyper SL, but they have a few more shots of it, including a little video. Figured I'd show it. GSI has been good to our series by sponsoring us in the past. Buy 2, get the third half off. Alright, that would be a pretty good deal, though. I mean, if you were really considering all 3. I'd like to... can anyone confirm? I should ask Terry Crouch. I wish Terry was here right now. I don't think that any game is outputting physics so that your clutch pedal can't react to the game in any way, shape, or form. I don't think so. I think it allows you to set the pressure points, release points, and things like that on the clutch pedal as far as using the active pedal goes. So personally, I'm still of the philosophy that I just need one. I don't need it for my gas pedal. And when I try out these haptic reactors, it might actually confirm that I don't ever need it on a gas pedal. I don't think I need it on a clutch pedal until I have locked out gates on a shifter and interaction from the game coming back to my components for the clutch pedal and the shifter, and all that has to be tied together. And I'm not sure that at the price that it would cost to build that system that any sim's going to be doing that anymore. So Caitlin, I would need to look into. So if I really loved playing Beam, which I do, if I played it more religiously, which I don't, and I was really into that, that would be game changing for me, and that would then justify the cost of considering it on the clutch. So for me, the active pedal, I'm not sure. So what? It's $1,500 for one. I think that's an obscenity. And if I was building the ultimate rig and I had the money, I would be very happy and content taking my favorite pedal set and throwing out the brake and running the active pedal as the brake pedal. And I think that would be a really, really awesome setup. 2,000 for one. So if I had the money and I am building my ultimate rig, if I had $2,000 to put into that ultimate rig, I think that I would really love to have that as the brake pedal, for sure. Is it a holy game? Well played. Tom, you're on fire. It took 3 years. I'm not going to go into great detail. Games Radar with an article talking about how long it took 3 years to build an unbeatable racing AI for the wildest driving game. So talking Trackmania, but using I've seen videos of this or similar demonstrations on AI learning.
Customer service partner.
AI is so capable.
Is controlled by an artificial intelligence
I've actually seen this
in the
video
racing
before.
game Trackmania, and this AI is designed to improve over time through trial and error. The longer it trains, the better it gets. With enough training, it should be able to find the best lines, to drift perfectly. It might even become unbeatable. At least that's the theory. Actually, I've already tried to build such an AI several times.
Yeah, that's what I really
And it
want,
could
Joa.
drive,
That'd
but
be
I played this
fantastic.
game for years and it wasn't enough to beat me. Still, I think it has some potential.
Yeah, but I need all of those things tied together, Callum. So, and even though there's an active shifter, I'm not sure the amount of scenarios that you can use it justify the pricing at this point. Someday we'll get there for sure. But right now, I think it's just for those who really, really want to, money isn't an option so much. It did look like Liquid Drano. D-Box is now partnered with Playseat, so I am sitting on an HF4 platform made in conjunction with RSeat. It looks like they're going to do something similar with D-Box and Playseat. I haven't heard much from Playseat in a very long time. In some ways, you'd say they've fallen from grace. I don't see or hear about them anywhere. Sorry, I'm scrolling all over looking for a price. Same FIA licensing, which they have here with this one. I keep hearing. Thank you, Joa. The Bash Pro Active 8 Shifter. Badass. Thank you, Joa. This is an Automobilista 2. Does he ever miss shift and get locked out? Totally agree, Callum. D-Box. What about the couch company now called, what, Nutsack? What's it called? Love Sack? Nutsack? I can't remember. I keep seeing commercials and I'm like, what a terrible name for a couch. You gotta be kidding me. Sounds super cool. Alright, I want that shifter. You give it the bird every time with your middle finger. Alright, where were we? D-Box, let's go back. Motorsport Games. Oh, the saga continues. Motorsport Games has now laid off 40% of their staff amid turmoil. Over 40% of the staff were laid off this morning amid company turmoil. 38 people, that means, were laid off earlier today, which has been described as by the staff as the true beginning of the end for the studio. So, yeah, not a good thing. It was said the staff were called one by one to a quick 10 to 15 minute call headed by the HR. Well, that would take a few days, wouldn't it? 38 people at 10 to 15 minutes a call. 8 hours in a day. At 15, that's 4 an hour. Okay, you could almost get them all done. That would be 32. I'm guessing they're less than 10 minutes then, if they're all done in one day. Staff were given 10 minutes to say goodbye to coworkers and teams before being logged out of their accounts. It's understood the staff would not be given any redundancy payment. Well, that's too bad. At the same time, I feel bad for people. Yeah, Tom Jones juggling up on this Friday. Nice. I still owe you one, man. Love sack, that's it. Love sack. CZ. Love sack. And it's like, oh, you snuggle into my love sack. It might as well be nut sack. All right, let's see here. Is this, no, we wanted to go to league stuff first. Hey, Jeff Addison, how you doing? Jeff Addison, like, Hall of Fame? That Jeff Addison? All right, in the SimPit Rally League, this is just our little mini off-season. GT99 wins the event over Callum PS4 Deadman, Frito Sport coming in third. And this is our final championship standings because it was just a 4-event race. It was PS4 Deadman winning the event. David S. finishing in second, GT99 in third. Sim racing happens every day at the hall. Damn right it does. Quite upgraded from when I was there. Alright, Caitlin's working on a DIY active shifter. 500 seems pretty cheap for active shifter, though, I do say. So, the Sim Pit. Been a long time, Jeff. I watch, every time I see pictures of the Hall of Fame, because I remember how passionate you were about it, and I remember you were there at a really interesting time of transition for the sim racing chassis, if you remember when I visited there. Anyway, you guys have really upgraded things over the years as well, and I love watching the events going on at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Anyway, Jeff Addison, everyone. So the SimPit Rally series is getting ready to convert over, we've just been waiting, to EA WRC, and that time has come. So PS4 Deadman, Callum, has got things going, and they've been doing some testing, and things are looking really good. And so it goes through RaceNet, and I can give you guys the link, but you'll have to log in. So it's one of those club things. So we're clubs 723, it looks like. Whoops, I want to put it in chat with you guys here. If you are looking for a new rally league in the new WRC, the SimPit is going to have a full season coming up now. Testing underway now. League coming soon. I gave you our Discord link. If you're not a member of our Discord, you would find a thread in our Discord that would have our Road League, our Rally League, and our Oval League, and any other leagues, Assetto Corsa, that are going on. So another reason to get into our Discord channel. So anyway, the mini season is over. Testing is underway for EA WRC, and a new season is imminent for the SimPit crew. In the SimPit Oval League, the guys were, where were we? I was there. We were at Texas. I did pretty well at Texas until it all went wrong. I was moving up through the grid. I think I was up to 5th. And then my oversteer off of turn 2 just started getting nasty until I eventually looped it. Anyway, David Clymer survived the event against the AI. They were tough at times. Different pit cycle and strategy made it a real challenge. It took some patience to let things come around for David Clymer, who won the event. Andrew White finishing in second, and Calix Weitzel finishing in third. That was Texas. That was the first race of the event of the season. So those points is as they finished 43, 42, 41. David Clymer, Andrew White, Calix Weitzel. You have to look back to 10th place for me with my DNF in the event, unfortunately. And this week's race coming up on Monday. If you want to get it, I gave you the link to the Discord. Get it in the Sim Pit Oval Series. Runs Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard is when practice opens. And this week we'll be at Richmond on Monday night. In the Sim Pit Road Racing Series, we were at Interlagos last week. That was a challenge for sure. Reinhard Heibel won the race in our Pro Class. Oldest Pudiclis finishing in second. Neil McDougall finishing in third. You'd have to look back to 10th. I finished 10th place there as well. In the amateur class, Chuck Labano finishes in first. Mike Thompson in second. And John Casey finishing in third in the GT3 amateur class. And after 6 rounds in pro, it's Reinhard Heibel with a pretty dominant lead, 198 to 183 points for oldest Pudiclis, with Josh Heege in third with 146. And a few guys, Antonio McDougall, Sarnquist, all nipping at his heels. And I've missed race and had a DNF. I'm all the way back in 12th, not having a great season. I haven't been able to prepare anywhere in the league of what I'd like. Also in the GT class, Labano with a significant lead at this point. Really, 4 wins out of 6 races. 194 points. Ken Estep having a great season right now, sitting in second place with 169. And Joseph Spacek sitting in third with 163 points. And I do believe... Oh, let's see. I want to look at rigs real quick here. David Payne has sabotaged himself. His sim room. Oh, poor David. His sim room is being taken over, it looks like. Poor David Payne. That's what he's dealing with. What are those? Somebody's moving into his sim room. I'm going to need more space. Oh, it's his desk. It's his desk that's coming. I think we have a mullet. Is David Payne working on a mullet? He is, indeed. Oh, and wait, Booth, what have you done? Booth went and spent some money before Christmas. His poor kids are getting less presents. Ooh, are these new monitors? Those are new monitors, aren't they, Booth? Or new center monitor? What do you got going on there? And then a little final pick out of David Payne's setup. Nice. This is where we all are, David Payne, looking at your rig. Alright, what is this? What's this? Ooh, look at David Payne's pedals. Yeah, look at David. Oh, yeah, he's got the bungees making sure that... So, you're saying this profile rig isn't stable enough to make sure that doesn't fall off? Josh, where is Josh moving? Where are you, Josh? Nice looking setup there, David. So, alright, you guys, I think that takes us, look at that, an hour and 8 minutes. I swore up and down. Terry Crouch, are you here? I see you just... Oh, that was in our post-our rig section. Sorry. I wanted to get the answer on the active pedal to find out if there's anything back on the clutch pedal or if it's just purely mapping fall-off point and pressure and that kind of feeling. So, alright, you guys. I swore it was going to be a short show, but we made it over the hour mark, which seems to be our average show length. Where I think that's about normal, is 1 hour for the pit stop. That is going to do it for this one. I want you all to have a great weekend. Get out there and do some sim racing and have yourselves a good time doing so. I got a lot of work that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be a heavy work so as soon as I'm out of here, I got 3, 4, 5, 6. I might be at 6 pieces of hardware on the way, or here with more on the way. So I am really backed up on reviews. I need to get to work and recover from what has been a rough week for me. But now it is time to get busy. So I'm going to do that so that we can hopefully keep you entertained and get you something fun to watch over the weekend. Get out there, do some sim racing. Have yourselves a great weekend. This is the Sim Pit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.